mejor lo rompe discoteca.
Tú quieres duro. 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 Que somos los nuevos jefes del underground. Quieres duro.
Dale duro y dale más duro.
It is high, it is far, it is God.
Los verdaderos. Vamos pa' la calle.
Mixing live straight from New York City.
Hola mi gente, welcome back to another episode of Don Yankee con el Party, brought to you by NYYNEWS. I am Roberto Ruiz, aka Don Sicario. With me is my co-host, Ruben Cruz, aka Numero Ruben. How's it going, pa?
Man, it's going pretty good for me. I mean, I don't know about our Yanks, but, you know, we'll see.
Listen, if we're going to base our emotions off of this Yankees team, we're going to be miserable. Yeah, I mean, it's getting a little bit ugly, so, which gets us to our first topic. Today, matter of fact, Carlos Rodon made his first appearance in pinstripes for the New York Yankees. You want to go over the numbers, or you want me to say them? I feel like you're the numero Ruben. I think I'll let you hit the numbers up if you want.
I got you, bro. I got you. So he made his first start with the Yankees. Pitched pretty darn good. 5 1/3 innings. Allowed only 4 hits, 2 walks, 2 Ks. So the Ks were a little bit low for his first start, but hey, I'll take it. He only allowed 2 runs. He did give up 1 bomb to Cody Bellinger. But overall, man, he was super, super solid. I'm super happy with how he started so far.
I'll take it. No, I mean the only home run too.
And it was only 69 pitches, by the way. 69 pitches and 45 strikes.
Side note, nice. Only 69 pitches. And the only bomb to Cody Bellinger, future Yankee, question mark? I don't know. According to some fans, that might be a possibility. But
that would be nice.
Back to Rodon, man. He looks sharp out there, and you could tell once he gets comfortable, man, he's going to be bringing that. You see that attitude he has on the mound? And you could tell he was a little nervous, but he has this swag to him that he looks like he just wants to throw his glove and just kind of throw a few curse words out there, no?
Nah, bro.
Like, I love his vibe.
He's a pit bull, bro. He's a pit bull. Tipo candela. You know what I mean? Like the guy's like ready out there to freaking tear your face off.
You know what's funny? I saw on Twitter his wife tweeted from the app where you could see like the strike zone and where the balls are and where the strikes are.
Yeah.
And 2 of them were in the strike zone. They were counted as balls. And she has said some basically like really, passing the umps. Did you get to see that?
Yeah, I saw that. No, like, hey, that's awesome. The fact that she can be active on Twitter like that and kind of call out the umps too. Shoot.
Yeah. She called out, wasn't it? Because when they tweeted that they didn't think he would make his return.
Yeah, I remember she said that was bunk.
Back, right?
Yeah, she said that was bunk. That's total BS. Like I love that she interacts with the fans. Like, cool. She's actually giving insight. You know what I mean? Like, too many times, like everyone kind of stays on the hush. She comes out and she just flat out says BS.
Okay, bro. Let's be honest though. When you got a dude that's a pit bull like that with an attitude, usually their wives, it's gonna be 50-50. Either the wife is gonna be real mellow and calm, or the wife is gonna match his energy. And I could tell she's gonna match his energy, and I love it. I'm all for it.
Oh man, definitely. And it's funny because I saw the post and I said, "Is this really his wife?" And then I see on the bio, it says, "I use Twitter every 5 days."
I'm assuming it's her because I'm following her and I saw her come. Unless I'm bugging out, but
no, but I think it is her because when she says every 5 days, I'm like, okay, that means that she only goes on Twitter when her husband's starting.
Yeah, so. That's dope. That's dope. I like that. We need more of that. We need more of that from the players, from their family. You know what I'm saying? Like we always enjoy seeing them because they be out there. They're either interacting in a positive way with the fans, or you see them going at it with the haters. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
And
yeah,
love
I mean, I don't know if you remember IKF's dad.
See, but that situation was unfortunate because, but yeah, I do remember he was out there. He was, you know what I'm saying? No
Yeah.
joda con mi nene. Don't
Yeah,
mess with my boy.
and ese tiempo, bro, I did a video at that time, and I was saying that IKF wasn't the problem at the time, and because everybody was giving IKF so much flack at that time, right?
Yeah.
Pero at that time, my thing was like, okay, we're giving him crap about his defense, and you know we already knew what kind of hitter he was, so. My thing to what I said in that video a while back was he's not the problem. The problem is that the middle of the order wasn't doing squat like this year.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So because
yeah.
because a lot of people forget that IKF last year, bro, he hit almost 330 when there's runners in scoring position. But when the middle of the lineup decided, you know, when they just stopped hitting, when Stanton became a guy that doesn't get on base, when same thing with, I mean, everyone, because like if you look at not so much Rizzo, because his on base was solid, but he was too far up. So if you look at Stanton, Donaldson, and Torres, none of them had an on base percentage higher than 314.
Wow.
So,
No, you're talking about last year?
Yeah, last year. So people forgot that, hey, like this guy's won us a few ball games, but he hasn't been able to do much because he ain't got no one in front of him.
That was like a situation with Judge where people were saying to stop batting him so high up in the lineup to get him a little lower so he could push in some RBIs and whatnot, but. And the situation with IKF, and I said this before, the problem with IKF, especially when they had him playing shortstop, the problem is not IKF. Because if the announcement would have came out, the Yankees trade for Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, right? No Donaldson, no Ben. I love Ben. The point is not about him. If they would have just got him, let's say IKF and maybe Ben Rotvert.
Yep.
And they would have threw IKF at third base. I guarantee you, fans would have loved him. They wouldn't have issues with him. The problem was the Yankees set him up for failure. They threw him into the shortstop position. Like, mira, toma, here you go, figure it out. And it messed with him because of course he can play shortstop, but that's not his primary position. So of course he was gonna struggle. And you know how Yankee fans are. We overreact to everything.
Yes,
I feel like
especially when it's tight.
It's when we're losing. But if we would have traded for just IKF, bro, fans would have loved him. Hawaiian Hustle, like everybody likes his story. His family loves. They're big Yankee fans. If we would have just acquired him, I bet you none of that nonsense that went on. It would have never happened because I think he would not have struggled as much. Playing third or even just doing the utility role that he's doing that we've been saying that they need to just push him just to be the utility guy. And he's doing that. Look at him.
And he's great as a utility guy. The problem is just that they're playing him too much in the outfield. And like if he was the straight up utility and most of the time was in the infield, man, his value would only go even higher to the team that we have right now. But it goes back to the middle of the order. Like the middle of the order this year and last year, they're just not hitting, bro. Like they literally are not getting on base, they're not hitting, and we're struggling like so bad. And for some folks, instead of complaining about the middle of the order, they're like, all right, let's complain about IKF.
Yeah. Listen, and the journeyman that we got in there for a bit, they were carrying the team. They weren't doing, Bowers, McKinney. These guys, I mean, they're not doing as good right now. But for a moment, they were actually helping this team out more than what the regulars were doing.
Most definitely.
Because and now it shows even more when they struggle and the regulars are struggling. It's gonna pop out even more now.
Oh yeah.
Because And especially with Hicks not there, now all the other issues are just highlighted. Now we can, we can't complain about Hicks. He's no longer here. We're gonna complain about Josh Donaldson. But Josh Donaldson, as trash as he is, but I feel like he's gonna get hot at some point. Because I refuse to believe that this guy is gonna just be trash the entire season. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, like, I mean, the way he's swinging the bat in terms of when he's making contact is loud as hell.
oh yes, yeah. You know what I'm saying? I feel like, you know me. I've hated Josh Donaldson since he was on the damn Blue Jays. I've hated that guy. I've been complaining about the Yankees making that move for him, but at some point I kind of said this season, I'm like, you know what? Let me flip it around and maybe stay positive. So who knows? Maybe the baseball gods will bless me with some good highlights from Donaldson. No, but I don't know. We'll see how that works. But speaking of trades, let's talk about the trade deadline real quick. The Yankees right now are going against the Chicago Cubs. And we're getting to see firsthand what it would look like with Cody Bellinger, the Stone Age dude, right? Like, because he always looks stoned. What it would look like with him in Yankee Stadium. Tell us the numbers, Ruben. What are his numbers overall this season with the Chicago Cubs?
Yeah, so with tonight's game, he just hit his 9th home run. He had went to the IL for a small stint, but nothing crazy. It wasn't nothing in regards to his shoulder or nothing like that messed up his swing back in the day in like 2021 and 22. But right now he's hitting 302. Last time I checked, he had 3 at-bats in the game already with 2 hits. So he has a 302 average, and his OPS is at 858 with 858, with a 502 slugging, if I'm not mistaken. That right there would be the second best bat in the lineup after Judge. Instantly.
That's wild. I've been 50-50 with Cody Bellinger. Like for there was some when he was with the Dodgers and he was struggling. I'm like, man, I wouldn't mind having him on the Yankees just so we could see his face all the time because he always has this bobo face. And for those who don't know that's a Spanish term for like a dude that's always staring into space.
Yeah.
And so we always make fun. Is he stoned or not? Because he's in California, probably hitting that cush up over there, but. Maybe that's just the way he is. But this time around, it might be a real possibility because, I mean, even some of the top media dudes have brought it up. Maybe Cody Bellinger could be somebody that the Yankees trade for. He has great defense in the outfield. He could plug into multiple spots, even in the infield. No, wasn't it you that said he could even play some first base?
Yep, he played some first base. He came up as a first baseman, but they had Adrian Gonzalez, so they ended up switching him back and forth between the outfield and first base. And then I think during his MVP season, that's when he said, hey, just keep me in the outfield. Man,
this deadline, Brian Cashman's going to have to do he's going to have to do cash God moves, no? Like I think there's too many holes for the Yankees. They're struggling in so many different areas that it's going to be hard. I want to see what the brass does. I want to see what they cook up inside that quote unquote war room. Because even if Judge returns, and I know we always say this, is Judge going to return? And Judge returns and he instantly makes a difference on that team.
Oh yeah.
But with the way everybody's struggling right now, do you feel like even if Judge returns, it's going to be a big difference?
Not really. I mean, so we'll probably win more, obviously, just because of his presence. And what he does, but it just feels like everyone else is just not picking up the slack because even when he was in the lineup, they were just kind of there. You know, like they're just kind of like, okay, Judge is here, we're good.
Judge is back. We don't really got to do much. That's kind of like last year. He carried. If Judge would have never went on that historic MVP pace, those numbers, that win-loss column would have looked so different. It would have. It's just kind of like the second half, the way the Yankees look. The second half, they look terrible. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it takes, and I feel like Brian Cashman's banking on that. Well, if Judge has another historic pace, they like to wait and see what happens. they don't like to prep in advance. They don't like to, because if that's the case, they would have prepped in the offseason. They didn't do anything in the offseason but bring Rodon and some journeyman in.
Yeah, like
So, I mean,
the offense was never really addressed. Like he never fixed left field. He never. I mean, the infield itself. I mean, a part of it was because we thought that we would get DJ LeMahieu of last year before the toe injury, and
true.
and man, talking about like a fall off the cliff. Like the guy he just stopped hitting. And
You think he's still hurt? You think he's fighting something?
he's
Or
got
is
to
it
be.
just age?
He's got to be hurt. He's got to be because, like, yeah, he's like getting to his mid-30s. I think he's like 34 now. But like, I saw a breakdown by Mark DeRosa. By the way, Hal, get Mark DeRosa for manager. By the way. Mark DeRosa was breaking down his swing, and he said, "Bro, like his swing, the way he's putting the load, he's got to be hurt." He said that toe still can't. It's got to be bad still, because the way he's swinging and the way he's transferring the weight on his swing, he's losing balance and like I mean he's literally striking out at twice the percentage of his career. Like he's always been a guy that strikes out at like 13-14%, really hard to strike out. He's striking out like if he was Stanton.
Jesus. I think Rizzo might be still hurt too, because Rizzo looks funny. Like
Rizzo hasn't hit a home run since May, bro.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like these guys they might be banged up, and I'm afraid of that because if they get their early boot, I know a lot of fans are saying, "Well, I hope they miss the playoffs because if that's the case, there'll be some big changes." I don't think there'll be big changes. I think they're going to do what they've done before and just blame it on the injuries. Well, we had a lot of injury. A lot of the guys were banged up. C'est la vie. It is what it is. That's baseball, Susan. So
I think Hal does sound like he's getting a little bit more like, okay, we need to start getting results, based on some of the things he's been saying. So, like,
he said they'll have the conversations, right? If
so
they miss the play, if they're healthy and they miss the playoffs or even get the early boot, he said he's gonna have some tough conversations or start asking the tough questions, something like that.
Which he should have been doing since last offseason, but at the same time, with him saying that, like, let's say Rizzo plays 140 games, he's gonna look at Rizzo and he's gonna he played most of the season. And he finished with only 20 home runs and 20 doubles. Like, wait, what's going on here? And like his batting average.
Looks like he's he looks like he's a little bit, especially this year, bro. I feel like Hal has spoken. I've never seen a season where he's talked so much, and I mean like he seems bitter. He seems angry. I feel like the Blues in New York really got to him because the way he's come off this season. This year, he seems aggressive, no? Like he's saying all the right things. Even in his last, the last interview he had, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was a little bit, but at the same time, he still hit. He kind of ended it with we're gonna have some tough conversations. Like I'm gonna get on it if we don't make it to the World Series. He's gonna start. You know what I'm saying? But I hate that they use that injury bug. Like, well, I think this season he is, man. I think he might actually be, because a lot of people are talking and he's finally starting to listen, because he says, well, I don't listen to podcasts. I don't listen to let me tell you something. That guy pays attention. He has to. And if he wasn't before, he is now.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
like, at this point, like with Michael K bringing that up to him, like, hey, there's a lot of fans that are pissed off. And he's like, what fans? Like, what are you talking about? Like like Michael K is probably like saying, hello. Like, where are you?
Where you been? Even Michael K, who obviously he's not gonna bash the brass and whatnot, but he has. I mean, I've criticized Michael K a lot, but he has once in a while he throws in his jabs and whatnot. I mean, he does it in a way where he's not offensive, so he doesn't lose his job. Obviously, but
that's always been my problem with Michael K is that he can go at the brass without being disrespectful. Like, he's never had to be disrespectful to go after the moves. And that's the problem, that he's always trying to defend the Yankees' moves rather than saying, okay, this is what the Yankees think, and being clear about it.
Yeah.
and then go and say, okay, now this is what I think. But he doesn't do he
But
doesn't
that's why
do
they have
that.
Don LaGreca.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
that's why they got Don LaGreca.
but he should be saying like, man, like we need some more lefties. He could say that without being disrespectful. You get what I'm saying? Like I've always been like
Yeah.
bro, like say what you see. Like you've seen 30 years of baseball, 40 years, your entire life, whatever, and you're telling me you can't give your opinion without being disrespectful to the brass? Come on, bro.
Yeah. No, man, it's annoying. And then if fans call in and complain, he hangs up. He starts like he'll let them talk for a little bit, and then he'll hang up and start frying them.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And he's like,
and the
no, go
problem
ahead, go
is
ahead.
the ones that end up calling are always the ones that that never
I know.
that never have the good points.
No, and I feel like they do that on purpose. Like let's let this guy in.
Yeah,
So
this guy will make make the show look smart.
yeah, we don't really have to argue it that much with this guy. But that's why I love Don LaGreca. Don LaGreca always breaks it down.
Yeah.
He because he's not a Yankee fan, so he
Mhm.
gets it. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like maybe that's why Michael K is the way he is, because he knows he doesn't have to be the bad guy. He's technically the bad guy, but he could let Don LaGreca kind of look for the brass in the brass's eyes, like look like the bad guy,
Yeah.
because he always defends the brass. But whatever.
Now,
Moving on.
I wanted to say one more thing about Bellinger.
Go for it.
The thing with him that I don't know if people have noticed, because one of the things that I did look at this during the off season, and I remember Felix at the time was like, "Oh, I want Cody Bellinger on the team," and I was like, "No way, bro! Like this guy's striking out a ton." And he said, and at that time, I said, "Yeah, he gives you elite defense," but then he goes and as I look further after he signed with the Cubs, his strikeout rate went up after his shoulder injury, right? With his launch angle. His launch angle increased by like double digits. It was real. It's like he was trying to hit the home run even more. Like he was chasing the home run more. And when that happened, that messed him up completely. But now that his
The
shoulders,
Cubs adjusted him though.
yeah. So now that his shoulders are healthy, because the future Yankees manager Mark DeRosa also had that breakdown where he said that look at the way he's finishing on his follow through. You can tell his shoulders are healthy, because when he was healthy, every time he was swinging, he would hit his back.
Okay.
And he wasn't doing that for like the last 2 years. It was like like a half swing. So
Yeah.
this year you can tell that he's like fully healthy, and then not only has he done that, his launch angle went back down. So it's like at 10 degrees or whatever it was, and that it was near his launch angle for his MVP year. And then his strikeout rate went down as well, because when your launch angle is not that high, you tend to make more contact. It's hard to strike out when your launch angle is not extremely high.
Yeah.
So he's making more
it's showing right now though.
Yeah, so he's down to 18% strikeout rate. His MVP year, he struck out at a 16% clip. He's almost at the same percentage. So now,
Man, that seems like a Cashman move.
yeah,
It seems he's on a 1-year deal. It'll be kind of a rental, kind of.
well, maybe
Because this is his only year, no?
Because no, he signed a 2-year deal, pero I think that second year might be a player option. So,
okay.
seeing that he's having a good year, he might opt out. So it all depends. Porque let's say si Cashman lo coge, and then he has a super hot stretch to finish, he's gonna opt out. He's gonna look for big money.
True.
Pero
shit, it's a win-win though, because whatever he does with us, it's gonna help. So
exactly. Now if I'm Cashman and yo lo veo que he finishes that strong, bro, I'll be like, yo,
give him an extension.
Let's do an extension then,
And let's run it back. Why not?
Because the only time he's really been injured, and when I say injured, as in like missing games, I think it was like 2021 because 2022 he sucked, but he was healthy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So in all the other years, he was good.
I mean, listen, he's doing good right now. And you like you said, you had him on this team right now. He's our second best hitter. So, I mean, we can use all the help. I know we want the Sotos. A lot of fans want the Otani. But I'm talking about, like, low-key moves. Like for instance, a while back I brought up for a Milwaukee trade. A Yelich and a what's his name? The starting pitcher.
Burns.
I mean, just blank. Burns, that's those. I know Yelich is owed a lot of money, but Cashman could work something out with them. Like we need some lefty backs in there that have good defense in the outfield and can actually help because it seems like we got a bunch of infielders in the outfield right now.
Bro, it's crazy how Yelich and Bellinger, when they were like basically the two best players in the National League and winning MVP back-to-back years between the both of them, they both start struggling in 2020 all the way up to 2022, and now they're both hitting well in 2023.
Now they're getting oh shit. But listen, they probably hang out. They probably hang out with each other. Like, look, this is the year. We got to get it together.
It's got to be, bro. Because it's crazy. Because I was looking at Yelich's number. I think it was like a day or 2 days ago. At that time when I saw it, bro, he was hitting 286. His on base his on base percentage was around, I want to say it was 380. And then his slugging was 450. So he's hitting less home runs, but than Bellinger and a smidge less doubles. But like he had a 830 OPS or something like that. And I'm like, yo, that instantly is our second best bat as well. Like it's just crazy how like anybody that we add that's a decent target is already our second best bat at this point.
I mean, when do we start to question the hitting coach? Are we? Because I feel like we're not allowed to. They're smarter than all of us, right? We're not allowed to criticize anybody on that damn brass. When are we allowed to criticize him?
I feel like ever since we let go of Girardi, we let go anything that had old school common sense. Because the hitting coach he had us scoring runs in 2017. And it just feels like ever since then in 2018, and as time went on and things got farther and farther away from Girardi, like our hitting has gotten worse and worse every year, except for Judge because he still uses his own hitting coach.
Got his own peoples. They need, man, like in Hector's Morning Brew show. Shout out to Hector, bro, the GOAT in the Morning Brew show over there at NYYNEWS TV. That guy opens up the panel for everybody. As long as you keep it respectful, he lets you get on. And man, shout out to Hector and Steels.
Shout out to Hector, man, and TC Steels. That's our people right there.
Yeah, they got a dope show going on over there, and every time they're on, we're up in there. we try to get on that panel as much as possible because it's always fun.
Heck yeah.
But speaking of the coaches, I mean, look how long it took the Yankees to get rid of Larry. Yep. Everybody knew it except for the Yankees. Yep. Look how long it took them to get rid of him. So I feel like sometimes they have a certain philosophy so they look at these guys in a different way than we do. They're not seeing what the hitters are doing. They're going by the numbers. Well, how is this looking? Or you know what I'm saying? Because his process it seems like it changed everything in this ball club. The way they're approaching the play, like everything seems different.
Yeah, because like his whole thing was like hit strikes hard. Don't take pitches just to take pitches. So but
they're swinging at every single first pitch. It seems like they're swinging at every first pitch. Yeah,
when it's like to me, it's like okay, I don't mind you swinging at the first pitch if you're actually gonna do something with it. But right now it's like you guys aren't doing well on the first pitch, so start taking some pitches. Start walking a little bit.
Right, work the counts a bit, man. I mean,
and then also, and now that you mentioned the coaching, you know what kind of just the thought that came into my mind was in the 2000s, right? from 2002 till like 2008, the Yankees always could hit. The issue was always the pitching,
Yeah.
especially after 03. Because remember, that's when he brought Javier Vasquez. Then he got a past his prime Randy Johnson and all this other stuff. And it's
Man,
like,
Randy Johnson.
yeah, it's like instead of getting Randy Johnson when he was younger, he says, "No, I'm gonna get him when he's 40." You know?
Get him when he's washed.
Yeah. So it's like, so he decided to do all of that, right? And back then we used to score like almost 900 runs every season. Like it was crazy. We used to score like, because our lineup 1 through 9 was it was miserable for any pitcher to go against. But he never like would invest
That's
in the
not like that anymore.
Yeah, and he wouldn't
It's not
invest
like that anymore.
he wouldn't invest in the right pitching at all either. Like 2009 we won because he said, okay, I'm gonna go after CC and AJ Burnett before AJ Burnett decided to implode on himself. So and he had Andy Pettis still. So then 2010 he's like, oh yeah, we just won the World Series. Let's go get Javier Vasquez again instead of like fixing the pitch, like making the pitching stronger, you know? So what I'm trying to get at is that we used to suck at pitching. Like we used to suck at getting pitching. Now
we got the good pitching.
we got the
Now we
good
got
pitching,
good
but the
pitching.
dude doesn't know how to get offense.
What is happening?
Like,
How are you listening?
like what the hell is
Oh,
going on here?
no.
We haven't been able to get decent hitters since basically from 2013 to like 2016. We couldn't hit, and then
And that,
we finally start hitting because our young guys knew how to hit, and then comes 2018, and they just screw up all of our hitters for the next 4 years.
it's gone. It feels like it's gone downhill since 2017. It's like they show glimpses of positive like positivity and whatnot, and then it always turns to shit because of the injuries.
Yep.
It's somewhere along the season, it's always the injury bug that hits us, and he gives them an excuse. So they never really. Well, it was the injuries. You know what I'm saying? Like they always have they can always back off and just be like, well, it's not who we brought in. It's just the injuries. The injuries affected everyone.
And then at that point,
Coño,
then they should be questioning Cashman. I'm like, well, why do you keep getting injury-prone players?
Exactly. Every season we have some people that are returning from injury or have had certain injuries, and it's always the same. It's always the same concept. And at some point, it's gonna be like, okay, that's the process. Is we're gonna have these baby bombers. We're gonna ask some of these vets. We're gonna get them at a cheap deal. So then it's like, who are we blaming? Are we blaming Cashman? Are we blaming Hal Steinbrenner? Like at some point, we gotta put the blame on Hal, because if that's the case, he's not that. He has to be paying attention.
He's allowing it.
Exactly. He's allowing Brian Cashman to maneuver the way he has for all of these years. He's giving him the 4-year extension right now. Like I said before, I think he's going to wait this process out. The baby bombers are almost, they're knocking on the door.
If they
He's going to give him the 4 year. If they get
here,
there.
because our minor league system, the hitters, they've downgraded this year. Like they have not played to the expectations they were supposed to play this year.
They changed the philosophy. From the majors all the way down to the minor leagues, it seems like everybody's struggling.
Yeah,
they need to do whatever they're doing now. They need to stop it and go back to what they were doing before. Yeah, because these minor leaguers will come up to the bigs and they'd be, explosive. Yeah, and then they'll turn to shit when they're with the big club. So
exactly, and that's the problem. Because Glaber came up and Andujar came up, and when those two came up, they used to hit really well. And then and same thing with Gary Sanchez. Gary looked like he was gonna be Jorge. He looked like he was gonna be Jorge Posada on steroids.
Yo, yeah.
Like that's literally
Gary
what
Sanchez was my guy, man. Gary Sanchez was my guy, and then he turned to
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So then you look at these players now, like they were saying for like the last 3 years, starting the season, right? They were saying like, oh, the Yankees minor leagues is like loaded with offense. The guys the last 3 years they've cut down the strikeout rate each year, and their contact rate went up, and blah 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 blah. And then this year, halfway through the season, they're like, oh, they've increased their strikeout percentage for the year. Their batting average is the lowest it's been in like I don't know how many seasons now. And it's like,
Jesus.
what the hell? Like, just
What is happening?
just when we felt like we were starting to hit gold, and we might have these like, Atlanta Brave type prospects, where like we're gonna have like 5 young guys come up and just like mash.
Yeah.
And now,
light it up.
say Julio.
Yo, you're not lying. It seems like whatever philosophy that the Yankees got right now, it's not working. So but Brian Cashman, they love to adjust. Let's see what they do. Let's see how they adjust, because if this year turns to shit, there's gonna be a lot of big changes coming up. And I feel like the hitting coach is gonna take a lot of the blame. I don't think they're gonna get rid of Boone because they like Boone. But there's gonna be changes. It's just not gonna be Brian Cashman.
Get Mark DeRosa. How? Get Mark DeRosa.
Listen, we need to start a poll on Twitter. What does everybody think? Who should replace Aaron Boone? He'd be the perfect fit, because especially when he's analyzing certain players, like he's seeing things and he explains it in a way that for the average Joe can even understand.
Bro,
so he's a player's guy.
He has the charisma to talk to people. Because you look at Boone, I mean, I'm sorry, look, Boone, no disrespect to you as a guy personally, like you seem like a nice guy, you're a family man, but damn, he's so cringy, bro.
He is.
He's so cringy.
Yeah, he's a geek.
When he's talking to the media, when he's talking to the talking young guys, like he just sounds cringy.
Yeah.
Like he just doesn't have that charisma. Like it's like, dang. Like, but Mark DeRosa's like, nah, man. Like, what's up? Like,
I feel like in the clubhouse, the players will like him. You know what I'm saying? He got that swag to him. He has that alpha type swag.
Yeah, like,
Boone. I don't know. Boone seems weird. You know what I'm saying? Like he seems too nonchalant. And I know Joe Torre was like that, but this is not that same team. This is not the same lineup.
Joe Torre
had to be like that because there was a bunch of veterans on there. There were a bunch of all-stars up in there.
Exactly, because
you can't be like that with these guys.
It's based on the personnel. And you can tell that these guys, they need someone with energy.
Yeah. I know we hated Joe. I didn't hate Joe Girardi. I like Joe Girardi. I didn't like that I didn't like the way he was always changing the lineup and whatnot. But yeah, I wanted him back. I feel like if he would have been on this team 2019, I feel like we would have made a deep run, man. I think we would have gotten deeper.
Who knows? If Girardi was still on the team, I think that Gary Sanchez would have never turned into this.
Yo, word. That was the biggest mistake they made. But you know what? I get it, because Gary Sanchez at the time had so much, like he has such a high ceiling that they were like, listen, we got to protect this kid. Let's get somebody in here that's going to be able to communicate with them better, whatever.
But that's the thing. Like if the kid is hitting well with Girardi, what other protection do you need?
Yeah, well, I mean that's the brass. That's Brian Cashman. That's why Yankee fans complain. When Hal Steinbrenner says he was confused, he doesn't understand why the fans are mad. Pay attention. Go back a few years back and kind of go on YouTube and just the history of the New York Yankees from 2017 to present.
I'll tell you this right now, and this might sound far fetched, and we'll never know because we can't go back in time. But I think if Girardi would have been the manager for Torres and for Andujar,
oh yeah,
defensively, he would have had them ready to play.
Oh yeah, I think so too. Because Girardi got a lot out of the players, and we saw that in against the Guardians. Remember when the whole challenge with Gary Sanchez and whatnot, and everybody was saying no, they caught up and they won for themselves. No, Judge and them were saying it. They did it for Girardi, like they did it for him. They said for him.
They said it's for Joe because Joe, like, look, he might have not been like as mellow and all that stuff, but he also wasn't like a Mark DeRosa where he was super energetic. Joe was simply
but they respected him.
But Joe demanded respect, and he got the respect of the room. Yeah,
that's true.
Boone right now, Boone looks like right now, like he's like, hey, what's up, guys? And they're like, hey, what's up, man?
singing the Rihanna songs and stuff. I
Yo,
mean, listen. At the
it-
end of the
it's
day,
like,
right now,
have you heard? Have you heard of Pete when he does his lives right with on NYYNEWS TV? Shout out Pete. Uh, he does the little sound effect when Boone goes out in
Ella, is it the Ella?
no,
Ella.
no, no. When he goes out to the bullpen, to call on the bullpen, he starts walking out and he goes, like making it sound like a clown.
Yo, I mean, can you blame him though? Like, I feel like ever since that situation, and Pete had mentioned that before, the whole bullying situation from the umps. Ever since that, it's like he hasn't had that same swag. Like, and when he did the whole Savages in the Box, he seemed like an alpha. After that whole the umpires, like, basically they bullied him, bro. It went downhill from there.
Yep.
So I mean, overall, right now, this team, the organization needs they kind of have to switch things up. We're gonna see what the Yankees do during the deadline, and it'll be able to tell us what the direction is this year. Because I feel like this is a real soft rebuild, like a soft build. They're gonna wait it out. They're letting the baby bombers come up, and they can sprinkle a few heads here and there to kind of see what direction they really want to go with. But with them bringing in Minaya and Sabian, I hope this deadline they can help Brian Cashman kind of like, all right, these are the dudes that we're gonna use for so and so. Like, changes have to happen because the lineup right now is lifeless, and they're all slumping at the same time. Of course, they can all get hot. The Yankees do that. They have their moments where they're playing like trash.
But
then all of a sudden,
that's
boom,
the problem.
explosive.
They always get hot when they're going against the A's or or who was the other team? Was it the Reds? Where like they just all of a sudden they could score runs. So like that's the problem with me is like that when they were beating up on the A's, I was like, yeah, like that was nice, but I'm waiting.
I'm excited, but we need to see more. We
Yeah,
need to see more how because can you imagine right now, as is, the Yankees going against the Atlanta Braves
oh my god,
in a 7-game series? Listen, anything can happen, Susan, right? Anything can happen, but that's an easy pick. I think the Braves will mop them up.
Yeah, the Braves would have way too much offense, even with how good our pitching is, but their pitching is freaking good too. So it's like
the Yankees pitching held down the Rangers, and the Rangers lineup is a dangerous lineup.
Yeah,
they got a lot of pop in there. They got some good bats, and they held them down.
But you go 7-game series, we don't have enough offense for it.
Yeah, no, we don't. So let's see what happens in this deadline. Let's see if Brian Cashman actually pulls some things off, and he doesn't just patch in a bunch of band-aids like he did last year. Let's see if he actually goes for a win now move.
And that's the thing. Like he has enough to where I think he can do a little bit of both. I know he wants young guys, but I know he can also go big. Like he could. Like, yeah, ideally you want to build the entire team with minor leaguers and develop them from straight up, but I feel like this is.
But you got to balance it out.
But I think it's a perfect stretch to like go and say, okay, let's go get a Soto, let's get a Machado. Tell San Diego we'll take all the money.
You're in the Machado.
Yes,
bro. If that happens, Yankees Twitter's gonna have to send you some flowers, bro, because if they can pull that off,
because bro, if you think about it, if you get those two, it addresses two really key positions.
Yeah.
And then
I wouldn't mind a Soto and a Snell or Soto and Hader. Something like that. I feel like something like that could be more realistic.
But I feel like the pitching is already deep enough. Like, we have our two aces. We have young pitchers coming up.
Yeah, but Hader in the bullpen? She closing the games out?
Most definitely. But I think if you can address the offense, we have enough pitching to where if our offense gets fixed, like, I think we can win. So, si tú coges like Soto, Machado, and then you tell him, hey, take JD. He's a free agent after this season. Go take DJ LeMahieu. He has only like 3 years left, and it's not that much money. And if you want to, if you guys can fix him, and we'll throw in a and then you can flip him. And then on top of that, we'll throw you an extra prospect for taking him. And
we
then,
have enough prospects. I know a lot of people are saying the Yankees have prospects. We got some good prospects.
and
I
then
don't think they're gonna want anybody in the infield, but we have some good outfielders coming up right now.
exactly. And then on top of
I don't
that,
mind giving up
I-
any one of them is open.
I'd even give them Glaber and be like, "Yo, Glaber has one more year. Flip him. Go flip him for other prospects."
Shit.
You know, so
I mean,
you do all of that, give them some of our really top prospects, but we can keep Peraza. So now you know how he's been saying our up the middle is Volpe and Peraza. Well, now guess what? You took out Glaber. Now our up the middle is Peraza and Volpe. Then you have
Peraza and Volpe,
So
as it
you-
should have been.
yeah, and then you have the on the corners you have two Gold Glovers and Machado and Rizzo, and then now Rizzo gets moved back in the lineup. Instead of hitting third, he can hit like fifth or sixth. So
Yeah.
like that right there, like it just makes it so much more deeper. And then on top of that, we still would probably keep some of the other prospects. Like we could have a Jones come in and be the center fielder, or we can
Man,
sign
Jones
back.
is going to make an impact. I don't know if it's for us or for another team, but that kid looks, and he's going through that system fast.
Yeah, and
Like,
that's another thing. Or, I mean, if Cashman wanted to, he could go get Bellinger too, and then you got Bellinger in center, and then you have
I like Bellinger, man. I like Bellinger. I know he's got,
you put Soto in left, or you put Soto in right, and Bellinger in left. You know, because Judge isn't healthy right now.
I think if Brian Cashman knows that Judge isn't coming back, I think he might try to make a big impact move.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? If he doesn't make a big move, and they know Judge isn't coming back anytime soon, he knows the fans are gonna go wild. So I feel like if they know, of course they know. So let's see. That's what I'm saying. That this deadline is gonna tell a lot.
Yep.
So as we get close to wrapping this up, real quick, what do you think? Because right now the stretch that we're gonna have, do you think Aaron Judge will actually attend the All-Star game?
No.
Would he even attend? You don't think so?
No.
I don't know if he would either.
I think he's gonna just try to stay away from the cameras and just you know get healthy. Yeah, like that's that.
Just kind of wait it out.
Yeah, just wait it out. I don't think that he needs to be showing his face over there. Stay home, go be with your family.
Yeah, that's true.
And give up your spot. You know what I mean? He's already gonna have to give his spot up to someone else to be an all-star. But I mean, yeah, like I would just do that. Stay home, stay healthy, and then
So get healthy, boy.
and
Cashman, that's it.
Cashman, do it, bro. Get Soto,
Do
get
it.
Machado, go get Bellinger, get those three players, and just
And
say
we cooking, son. And we cooking. I guarantee you, we'll be cooking.
well, that would get you back onto that World Series operation because then you also can call up Peraza and trade away Florial in that deal too, since you're not gonna give him a shot anyways.
Yeah. Listen, that's for a whole nother video. That'll be for a whole nother.
Yeah,
But
oh, and don't forget Mark DeRosa in the offseason. I'm just saying.
Mark DeRosa, everybody, you hear that? Mark DeRosa in the offseason replace Bubbles, because we all know that boy got swag and he know how to talk and he knows what he's doing. He's not no pushover. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, Aaron Boone can go. His time is done.
Aaron Boone, his time is done. That's it.
Let's get a guy with energy.
Yeah. Listen, Ruben, tell them where they can find you at.
You guys can find me on Twitter at Cruz Yankee Fan. And obviously here on NYY News on YouTube.
And what I knew. For anybody that hasn't been following me yet, follow me on TikTok, Don Yankee 1. On Twitter, Don Sicario 1. On Thread, Don Sicario 1. Of course, on NYY News YouTube channel, we are here. Me and Ruben are here. And we're going to be cooking up more of these episodes of Don Yankee Con El Party.
Mixing live straight from New York City.